Yes, people. We're back. It's the Armoury TV. Good morning for some, good afternoon for others, and good evening for a select few of you. We hope everyone's well. I've got my guy Brenny with me. It's the match reaction. We're gonna get into this. Oh no, we're not, because I can't find the intro song. Where's it been moved to? Here we go. Let's get the intro done and we get started. Yes. As I said, we're back. It's the Armory TV. It's a little bit late for our reaction. Normally, it's straight after the game, but a few people had work and stuff yesterday, so we had to do it today. Um, but we're here, probably feeling a little bit more upbeat than we did yesterday. So maybe it was a good thing not to do the stream last night. Brady, how you keeping?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Just bit better than I was yesterday. You know, we're still in it.
Yeah,
We're
that's the
still in
most
it.
important thing. It's got to go down to the wire, regardless what happens at the Etihad. I know we all feel City aren't going to drop points, and you never know. They may not. But all we could do is really focus on ourselves and keep pushing, isn't it? And
Yeah,
hope for the best.
100%.
But yeah, let's get straight into it. Kick off. I said everyone knows I do youth club on Friday, so I had my laptop set up ready to watch the game, but the kids come in at 8, so I thought, right, do the signing, get them in first, and then I'll put the game on and we'll sit down and watch it. So we literally opened the door to let them in at 8, and then two kids walk in laughing. What are you laughing at? You're losing. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Minute in again, and it's not the way you want to start a game, is it? So obviously Ramsdale obviously going to hold his hands up for that one. But at that moment, 1-0, are you thinking? Like me, I was thinking, okay, fair enough. We conceded one. We're going to come back and win this. Was you in that frame of mind?
I was. I thought, yeah, I still thought we were going to win the game, and we would come back somehow. But it was that second goal. I still believe we could come back, even when
Mm,
their second goal went in. But yeah,
mm.
it was just yeah, that a lot was running through my mind, like yours and other Arsenal fans. It's just, oh, come on, man, come on.
Yeah,
It's just silly
yeah,
little errors that we need to cut out. And you know what I mean. It's just Aaron Ramsdale worries me right now. Don't get me
really.
wrong. Yeah, he's. Don't get me wrong. He's super at saves, shot stopping. You know, works. I mean, but he just worries me when he plays the ball out at times.
I think we're going to get this for whoever we get in. I think the style of play we're going to play. Don't get me wrong. Yes, some keepers are better than others at it, but they
No,
play
no, no. You know
risky
what?
passes, don't they? Do you know what I mean? It's
You know what it is? You know what it is, Gums? No, no, no. Actually, there's nothing wrong with his distribution, but I just find that what I'm saying is he doesn't always play the easy ball because I like us playing out from the back. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying that yesterday in them early seconds, I thought he could have played the ball to
he could have gone
Gabriel.
sideways. Yeah,
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 he could have gone sideways, and that's what he does that sometimes. And I'm like, against City, you
yeah.
don't, you've got to. We're going to have to distribute quickly because you know how City are.
Mm,
It doesn't matter who they're playing against; they'll close you down.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
So yeah,
So yeah, so we found ourselves 1-0 down very quickly, and then within no time at all, we're 2 down. Um, let's just talk about the defense. Let's just get straight into that. So we're not really going to dissect the goals too much today. We're more just going to talk about it defensively. Yes, we know Saliba's out. Obviously, Tomiyasu's out, but we're conceding a lot of goals at the moment. Um, is it kind of time to worry about that? again, you could look
Yeah.
at Southampton. I think only had 6 shots and scored 3.
Mm.
There's probably games in the season where we give up more shots, but teams aren't just clinical. So you almost
Mm.
get away with it. You can keep a clean sheet because the other team's just not finishing, which can set you into a false sense of security. And then you get a game where, I can't remember which game it was the other week. I think someone had 7 shots and scored 6 goals. Like you have them games, you know what I mean, where you just finish. So is this something new, or have we just been kind of not scraping through? But I think I saw a stat yesterday. Our home record, we've conceded the third amount of home goals, third worst home goals
Yeah.
record in the league this season. I
Yeah.
think only Southampton and Leeds conceded more at home.
Mm.
So this isn't just a Rob Holding thing. This
No, it isn't.
obviously is been ongoing for a little while. What is the problem of conceding goals at home at the moment?
I think it's the way we set ourselves up
Mm,
because we've been scoring a lot of goals at home, and I just find it's the way at times we set ourselves up. I mean, I know we haven't really been playing with a high line. I know we can play that high line when it's Saliba, Gabriel, White, even, anyone but um, Zinchenko. But I just find that it's it's also, what it is as well. I think it's when we switch off. We tend to
mm,
switch off when we're 2-0 up or 3-0 up at home. And I just think we just switch off, lapse concentration, um, forward or maybe attacking midfield or whoever just comes in behind us, get their consolation, and then we go again, and then we score a third or a fourth. You know what I mean?
mm,
It's just because if you look at the goals that we've conceded at home, so poor.
mm.
So many of them goals are poor. You know what I mean? And it's just down to those um, lapse in concentration at the back. We have to obviously we have to do better. We have to try and keep more clean sheets. I know we've kept more clean sheets away from home. It concerns me. It concerns
Mm,
me. We'll always score goals. We'll always score
mm.
goals. But it's got to a point where I'm thinking, I keep wanting these 3-1s, 4-2s, 5-3s.
Yeah,
I I I'd sooner we win 1-0 for the rest of the season.
yeah. Because I remember we had that conversation. We prefer 1-0s or the 4-1s, and I was on the high scoring
Yeah.
side of things. And I think there's a bit element of both. You see, against the West Ham game, we got 2, then we tried to sit on the 2-0, and that
Mm.
ended up costing us. So there is an element of, I feel we have to try and kill teams more, but we also have to be just a bit more switched on. As you said, it's the the ease at which teams are scoring against us, or
Yeah.
the way we switch off.
Mm.
Um, and it's just those little things. And again, it's not. I don't think it's an individual. This is the problem. I don't think it's always just one player. You can highlight Ramsdale's mistake. You can highlight Partey's mistake last week. You can see those moments, but again, the set piece, it's just
Mm.
it's just sloppy, isn't it? And as we say, you find yourself in a difficult position. Yes, we've clawed our way out of it a few times. However, this maybe was one too many of the big comebacks. Again, 3-all. We're gonna look at this either way at the end of the year. Either it was an amazing point, or it was, do you know what I mean, wasn't enough, didn't do enough. And again, we may look back at it, and this draw might be the difference because I think, again, if we end up drawing on points with City, and I think if we had lost, they would, and they won and their 2 games in hand would take them level on points with us. And then if we drew, just say we drew at Etihad, we're now level on points. Their goal difference gives them, do you know what I mean?
That's the
The
issue. I
extra
mean,
point. So this point
yeah,
could be really handy at the end of the season
yeah,
if
but
it
their goal
avoid a
difference.
goal.
See, Gumza, their goal difference is better than ours right now.
Yeah, this is why I say that point's
Yeah,
important.
yeah,
Because if it did come
yeah.
down to joint on points, it's an extra point for them. Their goal difference, isn't it? So
Mm.
we still have to put as much points on the board. So the comeback
Mm.
is important, and we'd only know how important it was at the end of the season. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Um, but do you think it has an effect mentally? So you know what it's like when you're winning 2-0 and you end up throwing them 2 away, draw 2-all. It's a real down. As much as the boys wanted to win, and you can see they're off of their feet at the end of the game. Do you think this will give them a bit of confidence, the fact that they've come back from 3-1 down to grab a draw?
Yes, because they know because it's not. It's the fact that Mikel Arteta would look at it and say, you know, something, we can score goals, but we've really got to shore it up at the back.
Mm,
So, you know, I'm confident we'll always score goals. You know,
mm,
but it's yeah, it's we just got to be so tight at the back, and maybe there'll be hopefully there'll be a few more things that they can work on in training,
mm,
and you know, and also I know we're not managers, we're not coaches, but I'm just hoping that what I saw, with Ben White's chance towards the end of
mm,
the first, from the corner. We haven't seen that often this season. I want to see more of that. I want to see some Steve Bold style flick-ons as well. You know, if things
mm,
aren't going well for you, let's work on the set pieces, just like we
mm,
did back in the day.
mm.
Because
I
I
hate.
think, I think we can, if we were to do that, we can use that to our advantage. If we can, get the near post flick on, for example,
Mm,
or we need that as well in our locker.
hmm I hear
we,
you.
we we need something different because City will think, oh yeah, we know how they're going to play. We know how they're going to play. You know what I mean? So and and basically, if we, you never know. We could even see, when you put your bodies on the line. We don't see
Mm,
that very often in terms of when you're defending for your life.
yeah,
There's been times we've seen that, and I'd rather see that than have Ramsdale making saves all over the place.
yeah, 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 yeah,
We
yeah.
want to see more from our back four. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you. I hear you. But let's get into the attack for a bit because they are scoring goals. And yesterday is one of them games again. I can't say so. I'll go back to Ozzy's comment, and he said, "Sum it up, we were crap." Um, and I kind of disagree.
Mm.
Yes, the result's not a good result at all. I don't think we were crap.
No.
I think we were very unlucky, and it's one of them games you could see it happening where things just would. It's just inches margins. Like Saka's hit the post, Trossard
Mm.
hit the bar. Like Jesus has got in a good position a few times, and
Mm.
we will touch on him in a minute. And the touch just wasn't there, or there was a
You
Reece
think
Nelson
that
shot
when
which caught
Saka
a
hit the post?
deflection. Yeah, I
You,
think it was. It went, the ball went out, but do you know what I mean? It was just that
yeah,
game.
yeah,
It was
all
just
went
that
play.
game where it just wasn't going to go in. It just wasn't going to
Yeah,
swing our way.
yeah.
Um, there was so many near misses and just inches,
Mm.
and we could try to header, and the defender gets a little touch on it, or we. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Jesus again, we closed almost like he closed his eyes and
Mm.
missed the ball. It would just look like one of those games. As much as they're scoring three, and you score three, you expect to win that game. And I do feel the defense really, not even just the defense, the lack of our,
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to call it, that's
Mm.
really cost us in this game. But are we missing a tricks here? And what is the answer? I think all our strikers are very similar in stature. And even including Balogun in that. I think Balogun, Jesus, and Eddie, physically, you can't. There's not much difference in them.
No.
Trossard's even smaller. Um, is the answer something different up front? Because, like you're saying, just things coming into the box. Is what's missing? And do we have someone messaged me earlier saying, do we need to go and get a different striker and move Jesus' position? Because there's no doubt he's a quality player and you want him on the pitch. But I looked at yesterday and again, no Arsenal fans love him, but we'll be quick to criticise Holding. We'll be quick to criticise Fabio Vieira. But actually, Jesus to me yesterday, for all the good things he's done, him in front of goal, he there was a lot of opportunities he missed
Yeah.
or didn't get hold of, didn't control, missed the headers. I probably count about 5, 6 where he should be doing better. If you hit the target, the keeper makes a save. Fair enough, you hold your hands up, but he's missing a lot of chances. And if that was Eddie getting them, the backlash he would get would be unreal.
Mm.
Um, and don't get me wrong, I love Jesus and he needs to be in this team, but do we maybe look to change his position? Do you know what I mean? Or again, just a bit of competition for him. Because I feel this is where we're lacking at the moment. We're not killing teams. Um, and I
Mm.
think that's the difference. I think teams feel they can get at us, whereas I think when you watch City or Liverpool when they were flying, even if do you know what I mean? You score one, you're just thinking they're still going to come back and absolutely kill us. And we just, I don't think we have that fear factor. We have to be 95% to beat teams. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I think City turn up at 50% and beat teams. And I think that's the big difference. And I think the sports kind of just saying it. City are just too strong. Like there's an aura about them, and we're trying to get there. But
Mm.
what do you think's lacking in that side of things? Why are we not killing teams?
I just think you see the thing is it's I think nerves have got into it, have kicked in,
Mm,
pressure's on, and I just feel that okay, if we're gonna get a striker in the summer, and it has to be like a big target man,
mm,
you know, it have to be a target man, someone that can hold up the ball well, like we've spoke before, like a Alan Smith, John Hotz, and
yeah.
Olivier Giroud type of player, you know. But I feel, and then if that's the case, then Balogun or Eddie would most likely one of them would have to
I think
go.
that's.
But
Mm,
then I look at it and say it's just one of them things where I feel that Eddie and Balogun they can for all that they've done this season, they're still young. They can get, but
mm,
they'll improve next season. You know what I mean?
100%.
I find with younger players. I mean, I'm not worried about that right now because Balogun comes back. Am I going to be happy with Jesus, Eddie Nketiah, following Balogun? Yeah,
Mm,
because
mm,
our two younger players, they'll get better. We know what Jesus is all about. You know, I'm not worried about them at the moment. It's just
mm,
I think all it takes really is just words from the manager, words from the coaches, um, you know, on the training pitch, and our skipper, I'm sure he'll have words, and also Zinchenko. He didn't have the greatest game yesterday, but Zinchenko, Jesus, they can talk to the group again and say again, listen, we've been there before. You know, Mikel Arteta has been there as a coach when it comes to title running.
mm,
So those three know how important it is, and it's
yeah.
just a matter of just drumming it into the other players and just go out there and do what we've been doing previously this season.
Mm,
So I got no, but nah. If we don't get a centre forward in the summer, I'm not going to cry about it because
yeah.
I'll be happy to see the three of them.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think maybe it's a system thing. I just, again, even yesterday,
Yeah.
I'm looking, thinking, can we get Eddie on earlier?
Mm.
Um, I know he's just come back from injury, but he is one who's going to occupy the two centre backs, which will probably free up Jesus to move around a bit more and get
And
involved
yeah,
because he wants to come
exactly.
deep and play. So,
And another thing, Gumza, sorry, just to add as well, we don't have a target man. So there are times where when we're seeing crosses,
mm,
I don't want to see if you want to whip the crosses in, fair enough. But
mm,
at times when I see cross, I'm thinking, well, unless you put in a perfect cross
yeah,
like Martinelli did for Jesus at Anfield,
mm,
I like to just see the ball on the ball on the ground.
yeah, yeah,
That's where our strength is as
mm,
well when we're going forward. We
yeah,
showed that we showed that towards the end of the game, and I'm not even a Gary Neville fan, but even he was saying that. You know what
no,
I mean?
100%, I
So
agree with
yeah,
you, 100%, 100%. But again, there's going to be a lot of negativity around, but I'm here on Armoury. We like to do things a bit different. Can we take any positives from yesterday's performance?
yes, yes. Bukayo Saka,
Mm,
for me, he bounced back. Well, he performed yesterday,
mm,
regardless of the result. He performed yesterday. You know, there were those that were on his back. And so I'm not going to go into what we've seen on Twitter and other social
mm,
media accounts, but I thought he was really good last night. He
mm,
bounced back from that penalty miss. I'm not talking about his goal, but I'm just talking about his all round play, the
mm,
assist as well. Martinelli, he looked good yesterday, and I don't know who's going to be playing at left back against it because I know Guardiola likes to rotate
mm.
them, but I tell you what, he's going to give someone on their left hand side a torrid time.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. And
And
it,
and Trossard and Nelson, because they, for me, them two, they made a difference when they came
yeah.
on.
Do you know what? It's funny because I know Tony Silver Fox was saying he wanted Nelson in the starting 11. Um, And yeah, he's making a big impact when he's coming on, and he's another one I'm thinking he's not getting enough. Like, and
No.
I get it. I think Martinelli was good yesterday as well.
Yeah.
To be fair, he always looked a threat. He was carrying a huge threat, him and Saka. So it's hard to get Nelson in,
Mm.
but you can see the impact he is having when he's getting on the pitch, and there seems to be a bit more, not say quality than the others in certain areas, but he just seems maybe a bit calmer when he's in them
Yeah.
positions. He doesn't look like when he's hitting things, he's not rash of it. A bit like Trossard as well. When Trossard hits things, you don't really see it sky over much, or do you know what I mean? There seems to be an element of control on it. And again, that third goal has come from Reece Nelson. And we've had one just before. I think Jesus has tried to hit one and he's hit the player, and
Yeah.
Nelson managed to hit the target with his. And
Mm.
then Saka got the rebound. And again, Nelson's had the other spin on the edge of the box shot, which is just took a
Yeah.
deflection and gone wide. And yeah, I feel he deserves some bit longer in these games.
He does. He's shown that hunger and desire, you know.
Mm,
And for me, it's I know we don't often see him seasons that he's been with us. I mean, well, you know, youngster, but
mm,
this is the best I've seen Reece Nelson.
yeah.
It's the best
He,
of, you know. He's stronger now. He's more confident.
you can see the speed. And again, I remember we having this convo maybe a year or 2 years ago, and I was saying at his when he was growing up, he was unbelievable. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? For his age group, and sometimes it's just other players physically develop quicker than you, so he might not be
Yeah.
in his man body until now, and now you're seeing the difference of his strength and speed, whereas someone else got there 3 years ago, so they overtaken their development. So you can now see why he was spoken about so highly as a youth player because
Mm.
yeah, he's doing really well. And actually, I would be sad to see him leave at the end of the season, but I fully understand if he was to go because at his age now, 23, he hasn't really nailed down a full position at the squad. He is a squad player and he must want first team football now. So, yeah, uh, again, we saved that for another stream. But yeah, I think he's got an important part to play in this run, and I really do. And let's just hope he can stand up because, again, Arsenal's in the blood for him. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's not for others, but he bleeds red, don't he? So,
Yeah.
yeah, let's see how that pans out. But what we're going to do now, we're going to get into the player ratings and then we'll speak a bit on our Arteta before we bounce. So we go one for one as always. Aaron Ramsdale, I'll let you have him first.
Oh, thank you.
No
Uh,
problem.
Ramsdale. Well, yeah. Obviously, he there was. Well, we knew what happened we know what happened in the first few seconds of
Hmm.
the game, but I thought he did make some good saves. There was a couple
Mm,
in particular that he made, and for me, he's not a fault for the second or third goals, no way. But
mm.
I'd have to give him a six.
You scored him quite generous, to be fair to you. But
Mhm.
I hear what you're saying. Overall performance wasn't bad, but yeah, that
There
goal.
was there was a couple of saves that he made at crucial times where it could have been worse
Just
for us at the time. So
yeah, I hear that. Fair enough. Moving to right back, Ben White. Wasn't. I don't think he was bad in any way, shape, or form, but
mm,
I just don't think he was great, 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 great. I'll give him a six. Again, he's part of the back four that's conceded three, even though nothing's really come his side, but he's still a part of that back four. Um, so yeah, a six. We move into Holding.
Rob Holding, you know what? I tell you what, with Rob, I mean, I know people always getting on his back and everything else,
Mm,
but I like what I saw yesterday from him. And there were times where he was trying to play the ball out from the back, and I think it's something that he's working on.
mm,
And but I thought he was all right. He wasn't at fault for any of the goals. Because I know if anyone says better, then well, I'm not going to be impressed with that. To be honest with you,
mm.
I know everyone has an opinion, but no, I mean Rob Holding, I'd just give him a six.
Yeah, I agree. I think he played some delicious balls through the lines as well,
Yeah,
two or three, and he done it last week as well.
yeah,
And people weren't going to give him the same credit for it. With Saliba,
no,
you'd see the clips, but it was Holding.
exactly.
No one speaks about it. But yeah, for me, he wasn't bad. Gabriel, his partner. I will go with. So I'm going to put KB Sports scores up there as well. He said 4 for Ramsdale, and I'm more in agreement with him than I was with you on that.
Mm.
He's giving White a 6 as well. So keep putting your scores in, KB. We'll put them up. I'm going to go. Oh, he's gone holding. He gets a 5. Done defensive duties, but his build-up play is not great. We miss Saliba. I do think we miss Saliba, but yeah. Gabriel his partner. I'm gonna go with a solid 6. I think. Yeah, again, no, not a fault for anything from top of my head. I know Walcott obviously got on his shoulder,
Yeah,
um, but I don't think you could do much. Maybe just maybe one step inside. Because Walcott on the outside is not as dangerous as Walcott in behind you. So I think
mm.
maybe positionally he could have been a little bit better for the second,
That's
but
what
it was
yeah.
on the transition. I'm not
Mm.
going to hold it against him. Like
Mm.
we need to be better. The pass was sloppy in midfield, I think, from Odegaard, which led to
Yeah,
them being able to counter on us.
exactly,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, I'm not going to put too much on him for
Mm.
that. So I'll give him a 6. I've been impressed with him this season. So yeah, get a 6 from me. Sinchenko, Brenny.
He wasn't all that at all yesterday. I was not happy with him. Uh,
Mm,
well, maybe it was because he wasn't 100%. Because I'm so actually surprised to see him in the lineup. Because I thought
mm,
Kieran Tierney. Um, I know Kieran Tierney had a knock though, didn't he, against West Ham?
yeah,
Zinchenko, I'd say he just gets a 5.
yeah, fair enough. KB's gone Gabriel for a 5. Um, Again, he gets pulled out to the left, and I think it's not his fault for him being pulled out there. And this is the system we play. And I'm not going to get onto the system and say the system's wrong because it's worked this far. So I'm not going to get onto it. Sinchenko, oh God, he's giving him a 2. Fault for the second and third. I won't say he's at fault for the second. Third, I think he has
Third
switched
on
off,
we
and I
fell
think
asleep. Yeah,
Holding got caught with a flick on as well. Um, but yeah, KV's not playing today. Right, we're moving to midfield. Partey. I know James was not happy with Partey yesterday. I didn't think he was that bad. I'll give him a 5.
Thomas Partey. No, I wasn't happy with him yesterday. I would have
Really?
given him a 5 as well. There was a he was sloppy at times as well, and I mean, what happened at the end just summed up his day really.
What would you give him?
Me, oh, for me, he'd get a 5
Yeah,
as
cool,
well.
cool, 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 cool.
But,
And then Fabio Vieira, surprise inclusion.
yeah. Oh dear. I wasn't impressed with him either yesterday, to be honest with you.
Mm,
I thought he failed to, take the game by a scruff of the neck. For me, he gets a 4.
yeah. Ooh, some low scores in the middle. We're gonna get back to KB. He's saying he was not in his left back position during that goal, and but again, this is the system. When we are in good possession, he tucks in to play.
Mm.
Um, and obviously, you're not expecting a turnover from Odegaard there, so that's where the bits of sloppiness can kill you. So again, I hear you, but in ideal world, we're never really in a 4 at all times. Do you know what I mean? Them lot move around so much, so when you get caught in transition, it kills you. He's gone Partey a 4, second straight game where he's been awful, and he's given Vieira a 1, useless. Ooh, KB is not happy. Um, Odegaard, then I'll give him a 6. I think he raised it in second, like with the
He did,
last
yeah.
30 minutes, he really lifted us. Um, but again, second goal, again, no one's really going to call it, and it happens. People give the ball away. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying someone goes through the game with a 100% pass record, but that's the kind of, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I think Odegaard, he works his socks off. He drives his forward. He's tidy on the ball, and that goal he scored was a very, very tidy goal. So yeah, I'll give him a 6. I don't think it was his worst performance by a long shot. Then we move on to Saka. You get Bukayo.
8. I
Ooh.
thought he was really good yesterday.
Mm.
No, because he did what he's paid to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he had that non-stop energy. He looked himself again. Got a
Mm.
goal, got an assist. I liked what I saw, and I feel he'll take that confidence into um, Wednesday
Wednesday's
night
game.
game.
Definitely, definitely. I've got Martinelli. I'll give him a 7. I think after Saka, he was our next best player.
Yeah.
Um, Again, looked a threat all game. And again, it's sometimes it's not. I can't even put the blame on him. Sometimes where he's not finding people with the crosses. I just
Mm.
feel sometimes we don't get enough people in the box in the right areas. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
sometimes yeah, so it's difficult, and that's why I think
Mm.
even Ben White they were standing quite a few things up because there's
Yeah.
no one making a dart across the front post.
Mm.
So yeah, I give him a 7. KB Sports is giving Saka a 6. Nice goal, right? He'd be proud of that. Was better, but not back to his best. And then Jesus, Brenny, what you giving Jesus?
It gets for me, phew, tough one. I mean, I know he had chances, plenty of chances, but he wasn't at his best. Well, I mean, for me, have to get a 6.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I will be honest. I would have given him a 5. I feel
Mm.
his end product was terrible yesterday. Even passes were just always a yard too far away from somebody or
Yeah.
behind them. It just nothing was cookie. You can't fault his work rate, but
Mm.
his yeah, that final action was just everything was always just a yard wrong
Yeah.
or a couple of inches wrong. Mistiming the headers, like there was a lot. The touch, the one where he wanted the penalty near the end, he was in and his touch was terrible,
Mm.
which then led to him having to change his mind. Yeah, so for me, yeah, I would have given him a 4 or 5.
Mm.
KB's in agreement. He was saying 4. He didn't finish his dinner, just done a whole lot of running around, and I agree with that. Um,
Mm.
and he gave Martinelli a 6. Lack of help and did all he could. Let's get into some subs. First sub on was Trossard. What would you give him?
7.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was impressed with him.
yeah,
He and
and
for his
go on.
his cameo appearance deserved a goal as well. It was unlucky when he hit the bar.
Mm, yeah, definitely, definitely. The other subs that came on, Nketiah didn't get much time. Trying to figure out else he came on. Oh, Reece Nelson as well didn't get much. Reece Nelson done, I think, more than Nketiah, but again, that's position you play. Nketiah's in the middle where it's congested.
Yeah.
So I'll give them straight 6s all round. I think both were
Mm.
quite involved in and
Mm.
around it. But let's just get on to, and KB's in agreement with you. Trossard 7 immediate impact and did help massively. Let's get on to Arteta because I think there's nothing much more he could do with that squad apart from the Vieira decision. And that was where, for me, he will get scored down a bit. I, f- I would rather see Trossard in there. I
Mm.
think with Smith Rowe, he's going to do what he did with Martinelli last year. You come back off a long injury. There's not much games left. Let's just keep you in the tuck, and we'll bring you back in next year. Get a full preseason and get firing rather than bring you back in now and then you break down again. So I think this is why we're not seeing Smith Rowe much. However, I think there was 2 other options he could have gone with rather than Vieira, which would have been for me either Jorginho start and put Partey in Xhaka's position,
I
um,
think Smith
or
Rowe. I think he'd feel away though, Smith Rowe, because obviously he'd want to help the side,
yeah, 100%. But
running and that. But
sometimes as a manager, you have to protect them from themselves. It's like a boxer,
mm.
isn't it? They're going to want to fight to the end, to the death. Whereas his manager sometimes has to step in and say, "Listen, there's no chance of you winning this game. You've got
Mm.
no punch power left. You're just taking punishment. I'm pulling you out." And we saw it with Martinelli. I remember last year people were saying Arteta doesn't like using the youth. He's this, he's that, because Martinelli wasn't playing, and all of a sudden he kicks in this game and this season, and he's flying. So I feel
Yeah.
Smith Rowe's. I think is a similar thing. I think he's just protecting him from himself. But
Mm.
however, I said for me, he could have played Jorginho in a deeper role and put Partey in Xhaka's role, or you could have played Trossard there from the start rather than Vieira. Would it have made a difference? You never know.
Mm.
But for that, yeah, I feel, and I just don't feel he brings Eddie on quick enough. We're losing 3-1, and he's still waiting to like the 80th minute to get him on.
Yeah.
And he's someone who could sniff you a goal. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
You need a goal. He's someone as much Trossard brings quality, but you need someone in that box who's got can sniff you out a goal. So yeah, I think this is probably going to be the worst score I give Arteta. Probably I'm going to give him. I don't agree with KB. I'll give him a. I'm going to give him a 5. I feel some of the things you can't blame him for, which is what the boys are doing on the pitch. However, I feel he's made a bad decision in starting Vieira, and he's too slow with some of the substitutions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would give him a 5. What would you give Arteta?
For me, it'd be a 5 as well.
Mm,
Uh, probably would have scored lower if we'd have lost the game. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's but you know what it is. Given he went up, he went up a point for me because obviously something must have been said from
Mm.
3-1 down to wake us up. You know what I mean? It's he. I thought he did really well with the substitutions, but I agree with you about Eddie. You got to give Eddie more time, man. You
Yeah.
give Eddie 20 minutes, right, and he'll get you something.
Mm. Yeah. 100%. You got to give him a bit more time.
Even
Um.
25 minutes probably get you 2 goals.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, KB, big at yourself as well. He's just gonna
Yes,
throw
yes,
this last one up. His
baby.
in-game management over the last 3 games has been shocking. I'm not gonna argue with it. To be fair, I said I hold him accountable for what I feel he needs to be held accountable for. I hold the players accountable for what they need to be held accountable for. Some of what's happening on the pitch, you can't legislate. He can't legislate for Ramsdale doing that. He can't legislate for Partey last week. However, yeah, he can make changes a bit quicker if it's not going right. We've seen him do it to Tavares. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would have really grumbled if Jorginho came on at half time for Vieira or Trossard came on then. Um, do you know what I mean? If yeah, none of us would have grumbled at that. But let's see what happens. There was another comment I liked. We'll finish up on this because again, we're trying to do a positive stream today. Um, Sports Carnage. I think that I'm not too sure who that is. That Munzi or something like that. I'm not too sure. But he's saying to be fair, you will still be happy with where you are from last season to now. Which is a nice way to wrap up. Brenny, I know it feels like disappointment because we had it in our hands. It's still there, but it just seems like we may not get over the line now. But on reflection, from where we were last year to where we are now and what we're doing, and this team will only get stronger. Um, are you happy with how things are?
Yes, I mean I am, but I won't be happy if we don't win the league because you know for me it's always like I always expect us to be challenging for honours every season. Not
Mm,
saying we're going to win the league every season, but that's been drilled into me ever since I was a child. You know what I mean? Because we're Arsenal Football Club and we're always
mm,
expected to challenge for honours.
yeah,
And you know what I mean? And for me, it's never been about oh yeah, okay, well if we get top six, that'd be great. And yeah, if we could win a League Cup, but no, 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 no. You've got to aim high. Always got to aim high. That's what we are. You
yeah.
know, so I don't, like I said, I've never ever said we're gonna go out and win a league and all of that, but just to be challenging. So where we are now, I am happy at where we are because at the end of the day, we're still top. League
Mm,
table doesn't lie. We've still got the points on the board, and also we cannot go with this. All I will say is, well, we cannot go with the assumption that Man City are going to win all their games. We
yeah.
know they're a juggernaut. You know what I mean?
Mm,
But what encourages me as well is if we have the same if we go with the same intensity that we've had all season and we go with the intensity that Bayern Munich had last Wednesday against them.
yeah.
I know they lost the tire over 2 legs, Ryan, but we just need to get in their faces, because
Hmm.
they're leaking goals as well, but not as much as themselves, not as
Yeah.
many as themselves, I should say. So
Yeah.
we can go at City and beat them. I mean, but we just got to if we keep a clean sheet, we win the game. End of.
That's the key, isn't it? It's the defensive side of it.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting tie, isn't it? It's going to
Mm.
be a big game. It's a massive game, and that's what you can ask for, isn't it? Is to be involved in these games because we haven't been involved in one of these in a long, long time. So
Yeah.
yeah, as I said, on the reflection, it hurts because of where we were. But
Mm.
if you would have said to any Arsenal fan at the start of the season, we'll be going in. Even if you just say you put the 6 points on Man City's current tally, saying they win their games in hand. If you're saying you're going in 6 games left, I think it is, and we're a point behind City, you would never. Everyone would have said, "Oh my goodness, never would I believe that happened." So, yeah, let's just keep pushing forward, and let's just hope. Yeah, let's hope they come back on Wednesday. They
Mm.
get a little lift. Again, it might be a time for some of them old pros to go in and see the boys. Maybe do you know what I mean? Right, you turning up at the training ground or Armoury
Mm.
or or even Wenger going in before the game, just giving them some inspiration. It might
yeah,
need something like that, just to give them that little bit of lift.
yeah,
It's the smallest thing can lift them sometimes. So yeah,
yeah.
everyone's just got to get behind their team.
Yeah. Get George Graham in for a day, man, and he can talk
Yeah,
about pieces. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
With
That's
them,
what's needed sometimes. Sometimes you need them little moments. Do you know what I mean?
you
So,
know.
but
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
just hope.
man.
Let's just hope they can pick back up and get going because three draws does look bad, but we're not losing, which is
Yeah,
again. And I know we're going to go, but I remember the Liverpool team a couple of years back where they were drawing a lot. They were
mm,
conceding a lot of goals, but they weren't losing. You can see they're scoring fours, but they would concede three or four.
yeah,
And then it just took one little change, and that change was Van Dijk and
mm,
Allison. And I know that was 160 million change, but it was two players came and really turning the draws into wins.
mm,
And not saying it's Ben White's thing Holding's fault, but again, that may be a change somewhere else,
mm,
which just tips the needle a little bit. We've seen it with Saliba; he's made a difference. So
mm,
yeah, man, like it's not all doom and gloom. I get it. Feel we're not going to be in this position again, but we probably will be. This isn't a one-hit wonder season
mm,
for us. I don't think this is definitely the start of something. So
mm. And
yeah, we go again.
another thing as well to say, I've got to say, Gums, is that with Gabriel Jesus, I think what happened yesterday with him could be a blessing in disguise because he'll be up for it against City.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He will terrorise them regardless of the
Yeah.
result. So I feel he'll get a couple of goals. I really do feel that he will.
I, I like your confidence. I like it. It's going to be an open. It's going
Yeah,
to be a shootout in it. It's going to be a right
mm,
shootout. And again, it might come down to who takes their chances. We know they've got the
this
absolute
is
goal
it.
machine in Haaland, but
Yeah,
at the Emirates, we outplayed them. Do you know what I mean? And they
yeah,
just caught us. But we've got to tighten up defensively in
mm,
that game. But
mm,
it's there, in it. It's one of them games where we can maybe sit back and be actually we could be a bit
mm,
more astute defensively
mm,
and try and catch them. But you
yeah,
never know. You never know. But yeah, big up
exactly.
KB Sports. He's saying big up Gumzo and Brenny. And
Yes,
it
yes,
was Munzi. I'm
baby.
not going to use the other word, but Munzi was in the chat earlier. He was under Sports Carnage. Big up Aussie Gooner. Big up Silver Fox as well. And big up Canners on your birthday. But from us at the Armoury, we out of here.